Hello everyone. Let's discuss about various types of passages and how to actually identify and tackle them. Now, writing style is a way a writer chooses to express himself or herself through a piece of writing. But what exactly would be a writing style for RC? Well, just like each one of us has a unique dressing style, so does the CAT RCs differ in the way they are written. And just like you dress differently for different occasions and places, so does a passage is written according to its purpose, its audience, its context. But the question is, why is it important to identify the writing style of a passage? Well, the author intends to convey some ideas and opinions through his or her writing style. You will know the kind of questions to expect and how to answer them correctly with a specific approach to each passage written in a particular style. Knowing about different writing styles is critical to developing a better understanding of RC passages. This will definitely save time and help you score high in the most essential part of CAT verbal ability section. But how do you think the various writing styles differ from each other? It does depend on some factors like your structure, your choice of words, expression, and complexity of a language. Generally, RC passages represent information in the following six forms, that is, your narrative, your descriptive, your factual, argumentative, analytical, and abstract. So let's see what are these and let's see how to tackle them, how to identify each of these writing style, and let's see how to devise your RC strategy accordingly. So to start with the narrative style. Now, it is one of the easiest to identify since these passages are written in form of a story. The author intends to narrate some events or personal experiences through such passages. In other words, these passages would appear more interesting to read if you are a bibliophile. Novels, autobiographies, histories, anecdotes, etc. are mostly written in narrative style. As you would know, some of the most popular movies are based on best-selling narrative books. So you can start with reading the plot summaries of your favorite movies to get a glimpse of the narrative style of writing. After all, any narrative passage requires you to imagine the scenes and setting and understand the characters to connect with the plot. All of you need to do what? You need to try to identify the main idea which is conveyed in the beginning, in the middle, and at the end. While reading the passage, try to extract the underlying message that the author wants to convey through the story. Also, the tone of the author will help you understand the emotions he or she is going through while narrating the story. Both direct and indirect questions may be asked from passages like these. Next type is the descriptive style of writing. As you would guess, descriptive passages intend to describe a place, person, thing, or event in great detail. Such passages generally include a lot of adjectives, adverbs, and metaphors so as to paint a picture of that particular thing in reader's mind. Suppose you visit a popular tourist place, alright. How will you explain the beauty of it? Here, you would need to adopt a descriptive style. Most of the tourist guides, journals, magazines, and poetry are written in a descriptive way. While tackling descriptive RCs, just keep a few things in mind. A good idea for such passage is to go through questions before reading the passage. This will save time and help you spot the required answers easily since most of the questions asked from these passages are direct. Do not get distracted by the figurative language used in the passage. Instead, try to stay focused on understanding the contextual meaning and answer the vocabulary based questions accordingly. Another type is factual form of writing. Now, the purpose of factual style of writing is to impart information to the reader in a logical and objective manner along with some facts and figures. Probably, such passages won't really interest you if you are not in the habit of reading, say, newspapers. News stories, instruction manuals, research papers, and reports present information in a factual form. Well, if you are fond of cooking, then you would know that even recipe books are written in a factual way. A great idea to master such passages is to start reading news reports, obviously, which will eventually help you in later stages also. So, while reading the factual passages, facts and figures may tend to confuse you. So, focus on the main points and purpose of the passage. Also, you are advised to glance through the questions before reading the passage. This way, you will be able to make mental notes of the crucial information needed to answer the questions. Most of the questions asked are direct and require you to identify the key points. Now, a common type of writing is argumentative or persuasive style of writing. The author writes in an argumentative way so as to convince the reader of some particular beliefs and opinions regarding a subject. In other words, such passages cite instances, justifications, and facts to support a stand taken on a given topic. You must have come across advertisements that tend to influence you to buy some products or services. Well, most of the advertisements, reviews, and complaint letters are written in a persuasive form. A good way to understand such passages is to start with reading newspaper editorials that support a particular point of view regarding the latest policies or events. You can ace such RC passages by understand the author's point of view regarding the subject being discussed. This way, you will also be able to comprehend the implicit information and answer the author agrees or disagrees questions very well. This style of writing often uses continuity words like in the same way, likewise, additionally. These serve as an indicator of the examples used by the author to justify his or her stand. The tone and organization of the passage also helps you to answer the indirect or inferential questions. Now, a variant of the argumentative writing style is what? An analytical form of writing. Unlike the argumentative form, the analytical style of writing presents arguments and examples for examining the topic from all angles. The difference between the two is the way a group discussion varies from a debate. Suppose you are asked to tell pros and cons of a particular product or decision. How do you present it? Here comes the role of analytical form of writing. You will be required to present justification in the favor as well as against the subject. Even the movie reviews usually adopt an analytical style of writing. Some of the news editorials, technical reports, and magazine articles portray the given subject in an analytical way. For example, any controversial court case is generally presented in an analytical form of writing in newspapers. A good strategy for such RC passages would be what? Identify the central theme of the passage and the ideas built up around it. In these passages, you will frequently come across contrast words like however, nonetheless, despite, but. Such words are used to present arguments and counter arguments on the given topic. Focus on the relevant points and do not focus too much on the minor details. You are likely to be asked inferential questions from such passages. So try to formulate your opinion while reading the passages. A good idea to master such passages would be to read about the latest happenings and discuss it among your friends so as to analyze from various aspects. Now the last kind of writing is what? the abstract style of writing. As the name says, the abstract style of writing is adopted in a passage which deals with abstract topics like that of philosophy. An interesting example of this would be the fantasy books that we all have loved in our childhood days. Such passages do not state all the information explicitly. Abstract style of writing generally encompasses non-material concepts that may be represented in a symbolic way. Why not start with reading about some philosophical topics that interests you? An efficient way to deal with such passages would be what? Look for the tone and structure of passage to figure out the author's message in the passage. And such passages may appear complex and demand a second reading to understand their essence and meaning. So with this, we come to the end of our lecture. So what did we understand? We understand the various forms of RC passages. That is narrative, descriptive, factual or informative, argumentative or persuasive, analytical, and lastly, the abstract style. I hope you people have understood all these things and I hope you loved learning about them. Good luck.